कोरोना संकट से जुड़ी जो आर्थिक घोषणाएं की थी, जो रिजर्व बैंक के फैसले थे और आज जिस आर्थिक पैकेज का ऐलान हो रहा है, उसे जोड़ दें तो ये करीब करीब 20 लाख करोड़ रुपए का है।
Well, the wait is finally over. Prime Minister Narendra Modi announces a 20 lakh crore rupee economic stimulus package that is equivalent to 10% of India's GDP. Details to be announced by the Finance Minister over the next few days.
आज से हर भारतवासी को अपने लोकल के लिए वोकल बनना है।
The economic package will not be just about money but also about reforms, says the Prime Minister. The focus will be on land, labour, laws and liquidity. Says the emphasis will be on building a robust ecosystem that leverages India's strengths in local manufacturing, local markets and local supply chain.
लॉकडाउन 4 इससे जुड़ी जानकारी भी आपको 18 मई से पहले दी जाएगी।
Well, the lockdown will not be lifted after the 17th of May after all, but lockdown 4.0 will be vastly different from the lockdown of the last 60 days. New rules and guidelines to be announced before the 18th of May. Indian markets to react to the government stimulus package. SGX Nifty indicates a gap up opening around the 9400 mark, shrugging off the weak cues coming in from Asia as well as Wall Street. Industrial output contracts 16.7% in March. Manufacturing output shrinks over 20%. This is the worst reading in nearly 4 decades. Good morning, hello and welcome to Power Breakfast in the Mumbai News Centre. I am Anisha Jain. First up, let's talk about the top story this morning. The government has unleashed a 20 lakh crore rupee stimulus package to revive the economy that has been devastated by the COVID-19 impact. This is about 10% of India's GDP, and the Finance Minister will announce the details of this package very soon. Shireen Bhan is here with the key highlights of Prime Minister's speech last night.
An unexpected announcement and an unexpected stimulus package being unveiled by the Prime Minister. Well into 20 minutes of his speech, the Prime Minister dropping that big bomb that he was going to be making an economic package announcement, the Atmanirbhar Bharat economic package announcement, 10% of GDP, 20 lakh crore rupees. Now, this does include the previous measures announced by the Reserve Bank of India as well as the government, which broadly, roughly amount to about 5 to 6 lakh crore rupees previously what was announced. The big message from the Prime Minister, this is an opportunity for India. We need to build on self-reliance. We need to focus on developing local demand. We need to focus on infrastructure, on technology, on creating local brands. And more importantly, the focus as part of this economic package is not just on the fiscal stimulus. It's also on factor market reforms, land and labor included. So it's not just liquidity, it's land and labor. Now, if you take a cue from what's happened in Uttar Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh, where labor laws have been suspended by way of an ordinance, it looks like the government wants to take that route even as far as the centre is concerned. And land, more importantly, remember, the government in its first term had brought in a land ordinance to do away with the land legislation brought in by the Congress, by the UPA. It looks like, on the back of what the Prime Minister has said, that that could be something that the government is considering. So those will be part of the reform measures that the government is hoping to take forward. This is all going to be phased out starting this morning, or starting this today. We will see the Finance Minister give us some indication of what this package will entail, especially on the fiscal side. MSMEs will be a big focus, and perhaps that could be the first installment that will come in from the government. So all eyes now on Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman to give us more clarity and more colour and more details on the big announcement that the Prime Minister has made.
हाल में सरकार ने कोरोना संकट से जुड़ी जो आर्थिक घोषणाएं की थी, जो रिजर्व बैंक के फैसले थे और आज जिस आर्थिक पैकेज का ऐलान हो रहा है, उसे जोड़ दें तो ये करीब करीब 20 लाख करोड़ रुपए का है। 20 लाख करोड़ रुपए का है। ये पैकेज भारत की जीडीपी का करीब करीब 10% है। 20 लाख 2020 में आत्मनिर्भर भारत अभियान को एक नई गति देगा। आत्मनिर्भर भारत के संकल्प को सिद्ध करने के लिए इस पैकेज में लैंड, लेबर, लिक्विडिटी और लॉज सभी पर बल दिया गया है।
Okay, so those were the key highlights and snippets from Prime Minister's speech last night. But we also spoke with several members of India Inc. as well as economists and government officials to understand what they make of the stimulus unleashed by the Prime Minister last evening. Here are some of the key voices.
When the winds of change are blowing, some people build walls and some people build windmills to take advantage of this. I think that's what India is doing now. Whether it's a digital windmill or an infrastructure windmill, of course, details have to be looked at. Of course, we have to worry about what's going to happen to the inflation. And the last thing is, I think it's very important that this plan of expenditure comes with a medium-term fiscal consolidation so that India ratings are not affected as well. And I'm sure we'll see that too. I remember one comment where I said every international economist is saying this is not the time to worry about fiscal deficit. And somebody very senior said, yes, of course, we understand that. Today is proof that they're not just understood, but they're implementing that. So it's a good step towards a great India.
This is going to be a game changer. Now, it's very important, along with this game changer, that individuals, people, you and me and all the public, be responsible, sensible, responsible, respecting people. It's the issue of masks, hygiene, and social distancing. These three items and a 20 lakh package will be, we'll be sailing, we'll be soaring. I'm really thrilled. I'm really so thrilled. Well, I think this package is going to mean a huge amount of responsibility. Let's understand, when you do 20 lakh crore kind of spending, it means there's a lot of borrowing somewhere. The country is going to be indebted for some time. There's going to be, credit rating issues. There are going to be many other issues.
We are going to be covering all the issues addressing all vulnerable sections of society. So that's a very important point. It's a very proactive, very visionary package that will now be rolled out. The second important point to recognize here is that the India that we want to build is an India that is going to be resilient, self-reliant, and of course the word the Honorable Prime Minister used was Atmanirbharta. And then the third aspect of this, which I want to highlight, is the reforms that are going to now be undertaken as part of this. As we all know, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And the Honorable Prime Minister said that जब उन्होंने कहा कि आपदा को अवसर बनाना है. We have to take crisis and we have to make it into an opportunity so that we can build a resilient India.
Okay, so that's the most important domestic cue for the day. The Prime Minister announcing the 20 lakh crore package, and perhaps that's the reason the SGX Nifty is outperforming, because apart from that, the Asian stocks are slipping in trade as we speak amid fears of coronavirus resurgence and number of cases going back up as the economies reopen. Both the Kospi as well as Nikkei have slipped around 1 to 2% in early trade. Hang Seng as well is down about 43 points, but the SGX Nifty is definitely bucking the trend because that index is showing that we might start about that 94.35 mark. Let's see whether we build on to those gains or we slip from the highs, but that's as far as the start goes. But apart from that, even if you look at the US markets, the Wall Street actually ended lower in yesterday's trading session as uncertainty around reopening of economy kept investors on the edge. The Dow was lower by 450 points, while the Nasdaq also broke its 6-day gaining streak and ended around 190 points lower. The S&P ended with a cut of around 60 points. Well, the United States has the highest number of COVID-19 cases as well as the number of deaths, even as the economy is opening up in phases. Here is a word of caution from Anthony Fauci on premature lifting of the lockdown.
If that occurs, there is a real risk that you will trigger an outbreak that you may not be able to control, which in fact, paradoxically, will set you back, not only leading to some suffering and death that could be avoided, but could even set you back on the road to trying to get economic recovery, because it would almost turn the clock back.
Okay, let's take a look at what happened in the European markets yesterday. Remember, those markets actually closed mixed on Tuesday as investors became increasingly concerned about a potential second wave of coronavirus cases. Germany's DAX ended 0.5% lower, while French CAC was also down about 0.4%. London's FTSE, however, has been outperforming for the last three sessions. Yesterday, again, it ended in the green, up almost 1%. Well, time for a very short break now. Up next, we'll get you all the cues and news you need to know for trade this morning. Don't go anywhere.